Hello, good evening, everyone. I just received this information right now. June 24, 2024. Right now, they're out about the guide for home child care provider and home support worker. So let us discuss one by one about this new guidelines and of course about this new pilot, which is HCCP and HSW. For sure, ang dami-dami po kasing nanghihingi ng advice, nanghihingi ng explanation, and I cannot really explain to each and every one of you regarding this. So right now, I'm trying to create a, I think it's an explanation about the announcement today, which is June 24, 2024, regarding the home child care provider and home support worker. So presently, close na, okay? We're no longer accepting new application. The home child care provider pilot and home support worker pilot ended on June 17, 2024. We will continue to process application we receive on or before this date. See how we are committed to making sure caregivers continue to have a pathway to permanent residency. So that's already closed. That pilot ended up on June 17, 2024 in respect to HCCPP and HSWP. New changes to the pilot. Okay, so now the changes to the new pilot updated today, June 24, 2024. These changes are now in effect and apply to all applications being processed. Now, listen to what I'm going to tell you. You only need 6 months of work experience instead of 12 to qualify or to become a permanent residency applicant under this caregiver program. Number 2, for the gaining experience category, they will accept eligible work experience from, okay, listen to this, from inside or outside Canada. And then another one, gained anytime between the 36-month period before you submitted your permanent residence application and the date you provide proof of work experience. So that should be your experience within 36 months or 3 years. Okay, so I'm going to check the eligible work experience about the gaining experience category. So we want to make sure what are those eligible work experience. So let's talk about that. They said now you only need 6 months of eligible work experience from inside or outside Canada to qualify for permanent residency. I've been thinking a lot of people, believe me, I have all and everyone on my list. They're my previous client that I was able to pass their caregiver program. Now it is time for you guys to apply for that permanent residency. So you qualify work experience, okay? Your qualifying work experience must be in one of these NOC, which is home child care provider or home support worker. It cannot be mix of both NOCs. So ibig sabihin, if you are home child care or if you're a nanny, you can only accumulate that 6 months as a nanny. You cannot mix up with the elderly. So it should be separated. So you cannot mix of those. Match the NOC job description and you must have done most of the main duties listed. Have gained any time between 36 months period before you submitted your permanent residency application and the date you provide proof of work experience. You have 36 months from the date we issued your occupation restricted open work permit to provide your proof of work experience. Before it was 12 months, now 6 months. It's beautiful. You don't have to have worked 6 months in a row, okay? This is a beautiful thing again. You don't have to work 6 months in a row. Just 6 months total within that period. Ibig sabihin, this means within 36 months, okay, within 36 months or within 3 years, you should have accumulated at least 6 months. Even if it is not in a row, even if it is paputol-putol, or even if it stops and then continues, it stops and continues, as long as it is a legitimate work. Another one, be full-time work. This is very important. Full-time means at least 30 hours of paid work each week. Any week where you work less than 30 hours doesn't count. So for some students, they work 20 hours a week. That's not gonna be included. Any work experience you had while you were a full-time student doesn't count. So ibig sabihin, if you were a full-time student, whatever experience you've gone through, it is not counted. So forget about it. Canadian work experience must have been authorized under a work permit, under maintained status, or a public policy. Experience working for a business can also count. However, they will only issue you an initial occupation restricted work permit if you have a job offer that doesn't come from a business. Okay, so find out the job offer requirements. So, ibig sabihin, when you apply for gaining experience, it should be not an LMIA because they will gonna refuse if you use LMIA. Then you should use the job offer. Okay, so the job offer requirements that we're gonna discuss also. It's a lot of discussion, a lot of clarification, but I just wanted to make sure that we are understanding, the documents about the 6 months work experience, or they call it 6 months work legitimacy. So let's talk about the job offer requirement. It should be, a job offer requirement should be a genuine and valid job offer. To get finished getting work experience you need for permanent residency through HCCP or HSW pilot, you need a genuine and valid job offer. Still the same like last time. The job offered is, they call it IMM 5983 or offer of employment. That should be an updated form. It should show that it's a full-time, at least 30 hours. It's outside Quebec, from an employer in Canada that is not a business, so it should be a private one, not an embassy, not a high commission or a consulate. It must be from someone hiring you directly for their own care, the care of someone they have a personal relationship with, such as parent, spouse, or child. Ibig sabihin, you will be caring for these people, and genuine, meaning there's a real need to hire you. So they will also review the salary on the job offer. So that's you should always use the median rate. You must show that you'll be able to support yourself and your family members financially while working as caregiver in Canada. So that is really, like, it's still complicated. I know I've said it many times. I know I have understood the situation because they're just repeating the pilot since like 5 years ago. But what my point right now is that be careful. There's a lot of people out there who can actually scam you or say something that can actually ruin your financial capability, at the same time your dream to come to Canada. So make sure, I just want to warn everyone, a lot of agency or unlicensed people, they should be being happy right now and preparing to create a social media account, social media announcement that hey, we're offering this and that. Be careful. Always remember that you are going to only use a person who is a licensee and also who has an experience about caregiver. Remember also, there are a lot of caregiver victims right now who uses people who are licensed, but they really don't know what to do about economic class, which is the home child care provider, pilot, and home support worker. So be careful out there. Don't take a chance. Use people, get a professional, and pay for a consultant or a consultation before you go ahead doing all these things, so that they can guide you. So connect with me, share this information. I'll be willing and here to support you, and also to clarify whatever your clarifications in terms of this very difficult and complex information that we're receiving right now. Take care, everyone, and be safe, and all the best to all your plans to coming to Canada.